Hi, boys and girls. I just wanted to get you started on your homework because I know this was a challenging lesson yesterday. So, for problems 1 through 3, it says to use your geometry template or sketch the shapes. So, I'm just going to have you sketch the shapes because I know you don't have a geometry template and it's really not needed. So, let's take a look at number 1. We'll do a few examples together. If this square is 1/4, draw each of the following. When we look at our example here, I see 3 1/4, and that makes sense because the fraction is 3/4. So if I was to label each of these 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4, I know that's 1, 2, 3 out of the 4 3/4. Okay, so let's take a look at what my whole number 1 would be. We did a lot of examples, and we actually did a fourth yesterday. My equation would be 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. So what would that look like if each of these was a fourth? What that's going to look like is, see if I can get the presentation up here. Hold on 1 second so you can see the answer. Is 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, put together. And that's because each of these is 1/4, and I know it takes 4 fourths to make a whole. All right, let's try the next one. The next one is 1 1/2. So I know that A is a whole one. So here's my whole one. So that's 4. And I need another half added to my 1. So think about, what does a half equal to with a denominator of 4? If you said 2/4, you're correct. So that means we need 2 more of these squares. So what's that going to look like, boys and girls? Well, 4 plus 2 more, because a fourth plus a fourth is 2/4, is going to be a total of 6. All right, so let's think about if you had the whole number 2. Well, if you had the whole number 2, think about what you had for the number 1. If I know 1 is going to be 4 of these fourths, I just need to double that because I know doubling 1 will get me to 2. So then I need to double my 4 to get to, I know you saw it, 8. Okay. All right, let's do just a couple more together. This time I want you to suppose that this rhombus is 2/3. Now think about the ones that we did in class when the shape that we were given was either 2/3 or we did an example for 2/5. We had to take our shape and divide it in half. So I can't draw on my slideshow here, but if I could, I would draw it this way. And I want you to think about how I would have two triangles. I would have a third here and a third here because I know these two triangles put together make this rhombus shape. So if I know that each of these are a third, I would just take one triangle for my 1/3. So you can kind of see how that triangle could rotate. You would have a triangle right here and a triangle right here. Okay, now we did a couple examples like this in class too. If this is my 1/3, I need to make it a whole number 1. So how many of these triangles do I need to make a whole 1? It's going to be a third plus a third plus a third. So what would that look like? Well, if you take a look, you're going to see one triangle, which is my third, and then this shape here, tilted and turned, okay, which is 2/3. Now, if you actually drew this in with a line from this vertex to this vertex, you would see 1, 2, 3 of those triangles, 3 of these, because I know it takes 3/3 to make a whole. All right, so I want you to keep going and completing the rest of these. And then over in your practice, okay, you're finding those equivalent fractions. So 4/5 is equal to how many eighths? Remember, you're going to ask yourself 4 times what is going to give me 8? And then take that same number and multiply it by your denominator. All right, boys and girls. I hope that was helpful to you, and we will go over the rest of the answers in class today.